Easter to me means new beginnings and new life. The old is gone, and I'm a new creation. I get to think back to the day that I knew God was real.
In 1994, Alicia was struggling to provide for herself when she took a job as a stripper. Growing up, her life had been filled with disappointment, an absent father, a mother who worked long hours, and she was being physically abused by a family member.
So my dad didn't want to stay, and then this man was abusing me, and so I just felt that it's got to be me. I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't pretty enough. That's why I was always trying to fit in and prove and be good enough and not make anybody else go away.
To fit in, Alicia began drinking in high school.
When I drank, it made me feel accepted. It made me feel a part of. I got attention. You know, suddenly that attention, the boys were all around me. There was times where I was with boys and I was too afraid to even say no to them because I just was so insecure of what they would think and what they would say.
When Alicia got pregnant at 21, her child's father walked away.
I just always felt like I had to fend for myself and that I was never going to have someone who was just in my corner.
After giving birth, Alicia felt hopeless and overwhelmed and soon turned to partying and hard drugs. She began stealing from her part-time job to support her habit and was fired. That's when she turned to exotic dancing.
Met a customer, gave me about $800, and then I was sold. And I just knew that this was going to be the answers to my problems. And I was going to go to school for 2 years and quit and get out, and life was going to be fixed.
But Alicia stayed in the business for 13 years. She thought her life was finally changing for the better when she fell in love and got engaged.
He was going to be my savior. And one day, he called me on the phone and said he was done. The next day, I didn't even want to live. For the next 2 years, it's kind of a drunken blur.
She threw herself even deeper into a life of drinking, drugs, and dancing. Then, over Easter weekend in 2009, Alicia discovered she was pregnant again.
I'm just distraught. Like, what do I do? Because I can't have another child. I didn't know the father. And it was just this embarrassing, shameful, just moment of my life that I was like, what is going on? How did I get here again? And so I remember contemplating abortion.
Alicia had gone to church as a child, but now she only attended on Easter Sunday with family. She joined her mother in church the following day.
It was someone introducing their production, and I heard her say at the end, and the name of our production today is called Eternal Choices. And I knew in that moment, wait a minute, she's talking to me, and this is God.
When she returned home, Alicia knew it was time to make her choice. She reached for the Bible she had been given as a gift the month before and began to read about King Solomon.
And I got on my knees on the floor. I just cried out to God and said, God, I cannot make this decision on my own. I need your guidance. And I literally opened up to 1 Kings 3:24, and the first words I read was, bring me my sword, I'll cut the baby in half and give one half to one woman, one half to another. And I, of course, didn't know my Bible and was like, what in the world? And you keep reading, and the king says, do not kill the child. Give it to the woman that wants it to live, for she is its real mother. And I knew in that moment, for the first time in my life, how real God was, because there was no other explanation as to why I opened up to that page. And I sat there probably for 15 minutes in tears. God was calling to me of like, choose me this time.
Alicia vowed to keep her baby and surrendered her life to Christ.
For the first time, I felt truly loved and accepted no matter what I had done, no matter who I had been, and he had never left my side. He was still there despite everything that had happened.
Alicia stopped doing drugs and walked away from the strip club. She began attending church and growing in her faith. She's also a pastor and shares God's love with women in the sex industry as part of As You Are Ministries. Today, she's the mother of 2 beautiful daughters, and every Easter, she is reminded of the new life she has found in Jesus Christ.
I get to think back to the day that I knew I was going to have this gift of my daughter. And I tell her all the time that you saved my life. You brought me Jesus. And it's a time that I celebrate because everything changed. Easter marks the day that everything changed.